Now, in makeup, we're going to be talking about foundations and undertoning and why there are brands that have the same shade all the time being sold with different undertones. We're going to be talking about that, and we're going to begin with where I learned my lesson in the brand Physicians Formula. This is where I learned my lesson and studying the differences in foundations and knowing about undertones. This is where I began. So, with that being said, thank you to Physicians Formula for sponsoring this video. Now, you see in the store in Ulta in the US, Physicians Formula lined up, but they all say the shade DN4. That's because they are all DN4, but they have different undertonings to DN4. DN4 talks about it being your natural skin. You are looking for a foundation that matches to your natural skin, but you want to know what undertone matches to your natural skin. That is what DN4 means in Physicians Formula. Now, DN4 in other foundations mean the same thing. They just come in with different names. Now, this one from Rimmel is 007 Deep. 007 is the undertone to the deep shade of 007. It's the undertone. That's why it's in number factor. It's the undertone. It's the undertone factor. This one is shade 04 in the light scale range because it's the undertone factor that matters in the light scale range. It's the undertone factor that matters in the deep scale range, and in DN4 natural, it's the undertone factor that matters. It's not the actual name of the foundation or the type of foundation that it is. It's the undertoning that matters the most, that gives you the look that you're going for. So let's begin with the undertonings of the Physicians Formula brand. Like I said, they are all DN4. Yes, they all have different tops for different reasons because of the undertoning factor. The lids are different because they go with different undertonings, and that's why you keep them in different lids in order to know what type of undertoning that you're looking for. So this one is old because I've had it a long time, but you can look at the top. You can look at the top, okay? And the undertoning to this one is caramel. Caramel DN4. Caramel DN4. Now when you swatch it on your hand, it should show up as caramel. Now when you go to Starbucks and you order a caramel latte, you go to Starbucks and you order a caramel latte. A caramel latte usually looks like this in drink form, correct? That's because Physicians Formula has taken the term caramel latte and tried to match it to that of what's being requested in drinks at Starbucks. So this is caramel latte at Starbucks. This is undertone caramel with Physicians Formula to match with the drinks. Then you have this one right here. This is Undertone brown chocolate. This is for those who drink a lot of hot chocolate, especially at Tim Hortons. You drink hot chocolate at Tim Hortons, you're getting it in the form of brown chocolate. So when you order your hot chocolate at Tim Hortons, it basically should be looking like this, which is the second shade. You order your Tim Hortons hot chocolate, the second shade should look like basically a Starbucks caramel. Your second shade should look like a Starbucks caramel when you're ordering a Tim Hortons, because this is caramel and that's chocolate brown. This one right here, the undertone is nutmeg. Nutmeg. Nutmeg is an undertoning that is used, or a spice in food that is used in a lot of cold drinks, that makes the cold drinks able to be blended a lot better. That's how you use nutmeg in cold drinks. If you use nutmeg in hot drinks, as I've tried myself, you will taste the flecks of the nutmeg, because the hot water allows the nutmeg seed to grow. The cold water, ice, allows the nutmeg seed to decipher and settle into pieces. So when you order an ice cap at Tim Hortons or a cold latte at Starbucks, this is what it should look like. This is what I always see an ice cap looking like. I haven't drunken a cold caramel latte in Starbucks ever yet, but I can tell you that at Tim Hortons, this is what an ice cap looks like. Perfect color shade and color match ratio. Then you have these two. These two. Let's do this one. This one talks about the topic of the undertoning and texture to different types of bread. Different types of bread. Okay? So if you want to say I ate the hot dog bun, yes, I ate the hot dog bun. The hot dog bun is right here. Is right here. It's right here. What is this brand? This is Revolution. Makeup Revolution London Conceal and Define Full Coverage Foundation. And this is the undertone in Rich Cashew. Rich Cashew. White bread is known as Rich Cashew because white bread is made from cashews. White bread is made from cashews. We only get so much cashews in the store per year because of the fact that after all of the white bread has been made, okay, whatever is left over, it's sold in stores. That's why we only get cashews in the summertime, because the bread is made in the wintertime but frozen in order to be sold and be eaten really quickly. So no one should be telling you ever that the store gives you moldy bread. The store should never be selling you moldy bread. I'm just saying. So what does white bread look like truthfully on my skin? Seeing as I can't eat the bread upstairs either. That is white bread on my skin. That is white bread. That's what white bread looks like on my skin. Now let's go into the era of brown bread and see what brown bread looks like on my skin. This is the Remote London Multitasker Better Than Filter Primer. Better Than Filter Primer, which means, does any type of peanut plant come in brown in order to say brown bread is created equal? No. Brown bread has to be created from something known as coffee in order to get to the brown bread state. So how healthy, really and truthfully, is brown bread? It's just the color. It's literally just the color. What shade is this? This is 007, and the undertone is cashew caramel. You've heard my morning schedule. How am I meal planning with Gordon Ramsay? How am I meal planning with No Frills? I learn about this stuff in meal planning time. This is the stuff that we talk about in meal planning time. That's what I talk about at 5 a.m. and that's the conversation I'm having at 6 a.m. I'm having this conversation at 5 a.m. with Gordon Ramsay. How to blend cashew and bake it into bread. This is the conversation I'm having at 6 a.m. with No Frills. The different types and different forms of brown bread. With that being said, that is the beginning of the first lesson in undertoning, because from now on a lot of makeup companies and a lot of brands are going in the undertoning range instead of the name on the packaging range. So when you're purchasing your makeup or your foundations or your powders, you will not see the name label or the type label on the packaging anymore, which is why you need to know the difference between undertoning factors and the different types of cashew factors in order to be able to get to your actual skin tone in all different shades, because you can see the difference between these three and this one to this one and this one. There is a huge vast difference, but you can see that they're all my skin shade. You can see that. And you can see that because this foundation is not lifting. If it's not your skin shade, the foundation will lift off of your hand. The foundation will lift off of your hand if it's not your skin shade. Your skin shade foundations must not lift off of your hand. It must not lift at all. This has been on my hands for literally, well, the rest of these 5 minutes, this one has been on my hand for less than that. No lifting. That's how you know you have the right shade of foundation. So, in this case, I would ask the question, who's Swiper the Fox swiping my foundation off my face?